Red Ninja End of Honor is an action-adventure game that was released for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox in 2005 and was published by Vivendi Universal Games. And this game would play as a female protagonist following the death of her father at the hands of ninja assassins as a child and being left to die, where a stranger finds her and brings her in and trains her in the art of the ways of the ninja. So as she comes of age, she's tasked with completing various objectives, but with the main goal of avenging her father and those that were taken from her at a young age. So she tries to go after those that killed him and to take down the empire that caused all of the chaos that caused the catastrophe to happen in the first place. So the gameplay plays from a third person perspective where you utilise stealth and various combat and martial arts techniques to take out your enemies. The game can be somewhat compared to, if you remember, the Tenchu game seen on the PS1, and there was also versions of Tenchu released on the PS2 and even later consoles. So the game was heavily inspired by those games. But unfortunately, with regards to the reviews upon release, the game did receive mixed reviews, primarily stating that the gameplay didn't feel as responsive and felt quite clunky, plus the limited use of the camera felt that the game just lacked in various areas. The camera would be a massive flaw within the game and would affect the overall experience, as it is quite clunky and just awkward to use, as sometimes the character can get lost in the picture and you're not really sure of where you're supposed to be at any given time. Plus with various elements when you're trying to sneak up on enemies, that it's not as straightforward, that many times enemies can spot you even though you haven't done anything wrong. So there's a lot of elements that just, while it does have some really good ideas and it does have some good gameplay, but just there's certain areas that just wasn't as well refined as it could have been, which is quite a pity, as you'll spend your time, even though you do have stealth mechanics in the game, you'll actually just spend your time more so just literally going in and just trying to beat the crap out of everybody that's involved, because it's the only way that you're going to gain any sort of traction in the game, as the combat mechanics, although they're okay, but they're not as well executed compared to other more mainstream games that would have been seen, and especially when it's compared to the likes of the Tenchu games. It does have some nice ideas, don't get me wrong, but it just could have been executed just better as a result, as it does have a good plot and the story kind of tells its own tale, if you will, that suits what the game is trying to do. But again, it's just the lack of, with the combat elements and the clunkiness of the camera, really hinders the progress and hinders the experience in all regards. But if you are into these type of games and you're a fan of Tenchu, it might be another game that you could look at. But again, just be mindful of certain gripes that I mentioned, as it can make or break the experience depending on really how you see it as such. Not the best action adventure on the game, but it's still one that does appeal to some and has acquired somewhat of a fan base over the years. So it is worth trying out just for that experience alone. And I would love to know your thoughts on Red Ninja End of Honor for the PlayStation. Are you a fan of this game, or do you like these stealth action adventure games that were released on the system, or maybe not so much? I'd love to hear whatever stories you do have of this game, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated with future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other types of action adventure games like this seen on the PlayStation 2, you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.